if it's about shadows and highlights, the thing also might be a little bit more difficult than for beauty image, for example, where we have really in the well done beauty image, we have well placed lights. In here, we only rely on the natural lights that the weather offers to you, that the sun, so like it's different place on the face, so we have to really nicely adjust shadows and highlights on such an image. So for this, let's just compare how different highlights will look like. I'm going to offer 3 full techniques, and you're going to see how they're looking to make sure that we're going to choose the best one. And at the end, the best one that we're going to choose usually will be the best one for natural light, of course. So number 1, I'm going to do this through color range. And the difference that usually I do for natural light, it has much less light. So I pull range up to full and fuzziness up to full to see as much lights as possible, because this giving me soften effect, and you don't want to have really strong contrasting effect as you have on the beauty image. So the effect is like that, really well defined highlights. The second option is through the apply image. Let's see how it looks like. That will be our second option, and I will place it quickly. The third option will be through channels. So I'm going to make selection channel blue, and let's see how it's going to work for us. Now I'm just going to invert this. So I invert this once again now, and let's have a look how this tree looks like. So the blue channel and define the blue colors. We have really nicely defined the highlights on the forehead and in this area, though other areas are a little bit dark. So it's great if you want to improve the highlights over here. That will be great working for us. The second option has the softest light and the best representation of light. So it's going to brighten up big parts of the image. We're going to brighten up the hair over here. So it's very important to not only lighten one thing. And the last option, very strong, and would give us strongest option, but the things in shadows are also very strong. So let's do experiment with this. What will happen if we pull it up? It's really nicely defining the highlights. I really like it. Also including hair over here a little bit, but I feel that could be a little bit too strong maybe. You can have a look. Actually, it looks really nice, and I could go with it. But let's try other options that we have. So I'm going with this soft brightening over here with the method through apply image. I need to set luminosity, of course, and it's giving me really nice and soft light in this case. I really like it. It's not too strong, and also I could try the third option, how it's going to work for me. And also it's very soft. It's not too strong. It's visible on the face, but other areas are not really strongly defined. So I do like it. I like it really a lot. The one problem is it doesn't define the hair well over here, and the hair are much better defined in this area, but it nicely define the drama on this image. So like all of them giving me really great effect actually. So if I would choose one to work, that would be probably the second option, just soft nice highlights. If you want to experiment with some different techniques, I could go with blue channel and number 1. It's also great, but it depends how do you prefer. If you prefer really strongly improve the highlights, or rather give this soft blast as over here. So it will be up to you if you prefer the dramatic image or less dramatic image. So if I would choose the one, in this case, number 3, doesn't work well because it defines also the blue color from her sweatshirt. So I would remove this. Let's remove this, and we could decide rather on these two, whether you prefer a little bit soften effect or you prefer strong, well improved highlights. So that is your option, and I would go with soft effect because this image is really soft. I prefer this soften effect. It nicely brighten up all of the image. And the other part is we need to define shadows, of course. And I want to try with strong shadows, and I need to have a look if this not going to give me really nice and strong shadows. Let's compare them. As you can see, this layer give me really well-defined shadows. So I absolutely would go with this one. So as you can see, this layer give me really well-defined shadows. So I will go with this, and let's activate this layer and just change our curve inside. I need to make this really soft. Why I'm making this soft? Because once again, this effect is really strong here. So as you can see, we can overdo the image. So I would be manipulating with opacity and going down to maybe around 35. It's already strong improving shadows. And if it's not enough, you can always improve your highlights. So that one will be shadows. I can change the name now. Shadows. And number 2, let's call highlights. And by checking every option, we choose the best one. So that would be enough. Let's have a look before and after. This is just huge difference. A very contrasting image, like really beautiful, I would say. And I don't want such a strong contrast. So what I would do, I would just lower the values a little bit, because it's, as you can see, I'm improving highlights, but the shadows stay very similar in here. And this is the effect I really like. Here might be a little bit too much yet, but it has this nice dynamic effect.